Rejection-sensitive dysphoria, an extreme reaction to rejection. No one likes to feel rejected. However, not all people are able to find a way out and are therefore caught in a trap. What can be done in these cases? Rejection-sensitive dysphoria is an extreme emotional reaction to the actual or imagined perception of rejection. The person experiencing it feels overwhelmed when he/she is judged, excluded, or criticized. If you suffer from this disorder, you may therefore feel like a failure in the face of other people's judgments and believe that the whole world is against you. In fact, you generally experience a whirlwind of disproportionate emotions. Furthermore, the feeling can be so intense that you remain anchored in the event and you are unable to continue properly with the rest of your everyday life. Mental rumination takes over and you find it extremely difficult to let go of your negative thoughts. Rejection dysphoria is not classified in the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, DSM-5, but it is no less real for that reason. It is currently considered a disorder formed by a series of symptoms that are often associated with other conditions, as you will see below. We don't really know why some people are so overwhelmed by rejection. In general, it is believed that there is not one specific cause, but a number of factors that promote this reaction. Let's take a closer look at some of its features. Why are feelings of rejection so common? It is normal to experience unpleasant feelings, such as sadness or anger when feeling rejected. It's part of being human. In fact, it works in favor of our ability to adapt as a species. Thousands of years ago, when we lived in nomadic tribes and depended on hunting and gathering, humans had to be in groups to survive. If we didn't, our chances of survival diminished because of all the dangers that threatened us. Therefore, we developed a number of strategies to stay in the group. From these we learned that our behavior should be adapted to the tribe. If not, we risked being ostracized. In other words, we became far more vulnerable to threats from the environment. Today, however, things are very different and our survival does not depend on belonging to a tribe. Nevertheless, we remain social beings. Therefore, we may experience emotional pain when we engage in a pattern of behavior that is not approved by others. Symptoms of rejection dysphoria. Each person who experiences rejection feels it in different ways. But some of the most common symptoms are recognition-seeking behavior, high demands on oneself, feelings of extreme shame, low self-esteem, anger, irritability, aggressiveness, anxiety, fear of rejection, sadness, despair, need to control the feared situation, avoidance of social contact, somatic manifestations such as indigestion or headache. These symptoms may be experienced at the same time as the interaction or later after the interaction has ended. Furthermore, all the symptoms do not have to manifest at the same time. They depend on the individual person and their specific situation. Susceptibility to rejection dysphoria. There are several personality profiles that are more susceptible to experiencing rejection-sensitive dysphoria. For example, people who at an early age have been exposed to strong rejection, especially from their parents. Another group would be people with social anxiety, as they tend to feel uncomfortable when they feel they are being judged. Hypersensitive people are also unusually susceptible to this disorder. Hypersensitivity does not always have to be associated with highly sensitive people. A person can, for example, going through a difficult time and feeling much more emotionally vulnerable. This makes them experience more pain in connection with rejection. This kind of hypersensitivity can end up severely limiting their lives, especially if they don't learn to manage their emotions properly. In addition, individuals suffering from autism spectrum disorders, ASD, are also prone to suffer from rejection dysphoria. This is because their emotionality is usually high. Therefore, if they find themselves rejected or criticized, they tend to feel considerably more upset than most people. Lastly, people who suffer from ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, are more likely to suffer from this condition. This is because they have difficulty managing their executive skills, such as self-control or cognitive flexibility appropriately. Somehow, people with ADHD find it more difficult to relativize, distance themselves, and escape from their current way of thinking. Treatment of rejection dysphoria. There is no predetermined treatment for rejection dysphoria. However, you can learn many tools that can help the affected person experience their feelings less intensely. Here are some of them. The use of cognitive restructuring. Being more aware of thoughts, spotting the most irrational thoughts and replacing them with less harmful ones, is an excellent way to start combating rejection dysphoria. To learn to relativize. Putting everything that happens into perspective helps to make the experience of rejection less intense. To increase resilience. Building a discourse based on improvement and strength regarding negative experiences is an excellent strategy for leaving the role of victim behind. To hear success stories. Knowing that other people have managed to improve their lives despite obstacles can be inspiring for people suffering from this disorder. Improving communication skills. Knowing how to express emotions more appropriately strengthens feelings of security and reduces the fear of not knowing how to act. Strengthening of self-esteem. Gaining confidence is a good way to reduce the importance of other people's opinions. Lead a healthy lifestyle. Getting enough sleep, eating nutritious foods, and exercising regularly help manage emotions. Reduction of the stress level. A high level of stress can further exacerbate rejection-sensitive dysphoria, so it can be helpful to incorporate activities such as meditation or mindfulness. Seek help. It is important to remember that it is normal to feel upset when someone judges or criticizes you. After all, we all prefer to be praised than rejected. As a rule, however, the unpleasant feelings that rejection creates tend to disappear within a short time. However, if you find that these annoying feelings last for days, or that they overwhelm you, really affect your everyday life, it may be a good time to consult an expert in emotional management. Although rejection dysphoria has no predetermined treatment, there are actually many strategies you can learn to minimize its negative impact in your life.